Hi, boys and girls. We're going to be looking at a new skill this week with our reading, and it's called cause and effect. Okay, as you're reading, you're going to find things in the story that happened, and you're going to be trying to listen and figure out why they happened. So, why something happens is the cause. What happens is the effect. So let's take a look at some things that we have up here. It was snowing outside. That's the cause. What's the effect? It was snowing outside, so the students had to stay in for recess. So usually when you have the cause first, you can say the word so to find the effect. It was snowing outside, so the students stayed in for recess. Sometimes you can find the effect, and to find the cause, you use the word because. So the students stayed in for recess because it was snowing outside. So we're going to be looking at both ways that we can find the cause and effect in the story. Tony forgot to do his math homework. So his teacher made him do it at recess. Or his teacher made us do his work at recess because he forgot to do his math homework. I studied for the test. So I got 100% on the test. That would be the effect. The cause, he studied for it. What happened? He got 100% on the test. Kelly missed the bus this morning, so she was late for school. Jose's writing was messy, so the teacher could not read his paper. What we're going to be doing this week is we're going to be looking at the story, and the name of our story is called Diary of a Spider. So we're going to go ahead and read the story. We went over the vocab just a little bit ago, and I want you to see while we're reading this story if you can find some cause and effect that's happening. So let's take a look. The name of the story is Diary of a Spider. Cause and effect, some people see a spider and get scared. There's two events that are linked. Seeing the spider is the cause, becoming scared is the effect. You look at words and pictures in the story to help figure out what happens and why. So that's what we're going to be working on this week. The genre of our story is a humorous fiction. It's a story that's written to make the readers laugh. We talked about author's purpose last week, and with dogs, we were looking at his purpose. He was informing us. He wanted to give us facts about dogs. This week, the author's purpose is to entertain. We have a writer that's talking about characters, problems, and solutions. We need to be looking for things that characters do or say, and events that would not really happen in real life because it is fiction. Diary of a Spider. March 1st. Today was Grandpa's day, Grandparents' Day at school. So I brought Grandpa with me. There's a cause and effect right there. He taught us 3 things. Number 1, spiders are not insects. Insects have 6 legs. Number 2, without spiders, insects could take over the world. I wonder why. Number 3, butterflies taste better with a little barbecue sauce. What are the 3 things that Grandpa taught his little spider, his grandson? See if you can remember that and tell it in order. March 16th. Grandpa says that in his day, flies and spiders did not get along. Things are different now. This is awesome. What do you see that's different here? When I'm looking at these dates, it almost reminds me of a diary. When you record something in a journal or a diary, lots of times people put the date on it. March 29th, today in gym class, we learned how to catch the wind so we could travel to faraway places. Did you catch that cause and effect? What was the reason they can travel to faraway places? Next, when I got home, I made up flashcards so I could practice. 1, climb high. 2, release the silk. 3, catch the wind. I wonder what he means by catching the wind. Fly made up his own flashcards. 1, fly. Fly only needed 1 flashcard, didn't he? Spider needed 3. I'm starting to see why Grandpa doesn't like her. April 1st, I went to the park with my sister today. We tried the seesaw. It didn't work. Well, what do you think the reason is? Can you use the pictures to help you figure out the cause and effect? It didn't work because, why? See if you can tell a grown-up. We tried the tire swing. It didn't work. I wonder why. We spun a huge sticky web on the water fountain. That worked. The little girl is screaming because, why? What was that cause that made her scream? April 12th. Today was safety day at school. We learned that vacuums eat spider webs and are very, very dangerous. If we hear a vacuum, we should stop, drop, and run. Stop what we're doing, drop from the web, run like crazy. Why do you think they need to run like crazy when they hear a vacuum cleaner? What could happen? April 13th. We had a vacuum drill today. I stopped what I was doing, forgot where I was going, and ran screaming from the room. Help! We're having another drill tomorrow. Why are they having another drill tomorrow? Because April 17th, I'm sleeping over at Worm's house tonight. I hope they don't have leaves and rotten tomatoes for dinner again. May 7th, Mom said I was getting too big for my own skin, so I molted. Look at those picture clues. What do you think molted means? I'm going to ask you about that when you come in. So be thinking, what does it mean to molt? That is so gross, said Worm. May 8th. Today was show and tell, so I brought in my old skin. My teacher called on it to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. You there, why don't you get us started? Is it able to get them started? Why do you think she called on him? June 5th. Daddy Longlegs made fun of Fly because she eats with her feet. There's the cause and effect, isn't there? It gave us the effect first, and then it told us why. Now she won't come out of her treehouse. I'm going to find him and give him a piece of my mind. Do you think Spider's very happy with Daddy Longlegs right now? Let's see what happens. June 6th. I found Daddy Longlegs. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was. I gave him a piece of my lunch instead. Why do you think he gave him lunch instead of a piece of his mind? What do you think? June 7th, Fly's treehouse blew away in the wind today. So did Grandpa. Do you have any clues of what's happening with Grandpa? What do you see in this picture to help you figure out what's going on with Grandpa? June 18th, I got a postcard from Grandpa today. Dear Spider, ooh la la, I landed in Paris. French frogs are delicious. Au revoir, Grandpa. Leg of a French gnat. Give it a try. What does he want Spider to do with that? June 30th, Grandpa came home today. I couldn't wait to hear about how he rode the winds all the way over the ocean. Turns out, he caught a breeze to the airport and napped in first class. We're going to talk a little about personification in here. Personification means that a character that is not a person is giving that character some personal traits. So let's think about Grandpa. What does he do to make him seem like a real person? Use some of the words in the pictures to help us answer that question. So what is Grandpa doing to make him seem like a real person on these two pages? July 2nd, Fly came over to play today. She got stuck in our web and her mom had to come get her. Grandpa laughed a little too hard. From now on, we have to play at Fly's house. Hi, Mom. Uh-oh, look at Fly, stuck. How does Mom look? Why do you think Mom's gonna make them play at Fly's house from now on? I want you to also think, who's telling the story? If you're listening to the story, who's telling it? July 9th, today was my birthday. I wonder who they're talking about. Whose birthday? Grandpa decided I was old enough to know the secret to a long, happy life. Never fall asleep in a shoe. Why do you think he can have a long life as long as he doesn't fall asleep in the shoe? What could happen? What could be the effect of falling asleep in a shoe? July 16th, famous eye scare. Fly's mom. I wonder why. It wasn't his fault. What did he do? Number 2, he scares tiny bugs. Look at him running away, that tiny bug. Number 3, people using water fountains at the park. What happened? Things that scare me. Daddy Longlegs, vacuums, and people with big feet. No! What do you think could happen with that? All right. Oh, August 1st. I wish that people wouldn't judge all spiders based on a few spiders that bite. I know if we took time to get to know each other, we would get along just fine, just like Fly and me. Spiders Clubhouse. All right, so what we're going to do this week is we're going to go back tomorrow or the next day that you're in, and we're going to look at those pages very carefully, and we're going to talk about the cause and effect. We're going to talk about more ways that those characters are giving personification, how they're acting like people. And we're going to talk about who's telling the story. Then we're going to go through and we're going to look at the cause and effect throughout the story and do a couple of activities to show cause and effect. You will have some papers that go home later in the week for your virtual days to help you along with the cause and effect as well. So listen to the story. You can listen to it as many times as you like. This is probably one of my favorite ones. And I will see you on your next day in school.